but welcome in. It's the 4th of May, 1871. The 1-1 Washington Olympics at the 0-1 New York Mutuals. I'm going to start the starting lineup again from the top. Batting first for the Washington Olympics will be center fielder Tom Foley. Batting second, the second baseman Jim Carlton. Batting third, left fielder Ned Cuthbert. Batting fourth, shortstop John Bass. Batting fifth, the first baseman Charlie Gold. Batting sixth, third baseman John Radcliffe. Batting seventh, the catcher Charlie Mills. Batting fourth, the right fielder Elmer White. And batting ninth, the pitcher Al Pratt. For the New York Mutuals, leading off, second baseman Mike McGeary. Batting second, third baseman Steve Bellin. Batting third, the catcher Cal McVeigh. Batting fourth, left fielder Henry Burrows. Batting fifth, the pitcher Riney Walters. Batting sixth, the center fielder Art Allison. Batting seventh, the right fielder Charlie Pabler. Batting eighth, the first baseman George Ewell. And batting ninth, the shortstop Pete Donnelly. The pitchers are ready. I'm ready. We are ready to get underway with the Washington Olympics at the New York Mutuals. Ronnie Walters gets the start for the New York Mutuals. And he is 0-1 so far this season. Here's the first pitch. That's going to be called strike. And we are underway here in New York. 0-1 to count. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's grounded over towards the first baseman. And that will be taken by himself. And Tim Foley is retired for the first out of the game. Jim Carlton, second baseman, is up next. He had a hit in his only at bat so far this season. Here's the first pitch. Swung on and missed. It'll be 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that is lined into left center field deep. And that'll drop for a base hit. That's going to roll all the way to the wall. And Steve Bellin's got himself, Jim Carlton's got himself a double here in the first inning. Why'd I click out of OOTP? That'll bring up Ned Cuthbert. He is 1 for 8 so far this season. Here's the first pitch. That's inside, ball one. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's taken below the knees for a ball, 2-0. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Swung on. That's popped up in the infield. First baseman's coming over to get it, and that will be the second out of the inning. That's George Ewell getting credit for the put. That brings up John Bass, the shortstop. Batting .429 with a home run, 2 RBIs so far this season. Here's the first pitch to Bass, and that is lined into left center field, but shallow. And this time there's enough time for the left fielder to come over and grab it, and that will retire the side. Henry Burrows clutches the fly ball, and it is no runs on one hit, and they leave one aboard. We go to the bottom of the first in a scoreless game. Mike McGeary will lead off for the New York Mutuals. He'll be facing Al Pratt, who is currently sitting at 1-1 on the season. Here's the first pitch, and that is taken on the inside corner for a strike, and it is 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's grounded over towards first, and taking it himself will be George Ewell, will be Charlie Gold, and that will retire Mike McGeary. That's going to bring up Steve Bellin. He is 2 for 5 so far this season. Here's the first pitch to him, and that is taken off the plate away for a ball. The 1-0 pitch. Swung on, grounded over to third. On to first, and it's a throwing error on the third baseman. Steve Bellin is aboard on an E5. the third baseman, John Radcliffe, will get credit for the error. So base runner here for New York in the bottom of the first. Due up next is Cal McVeigh. He is currently batting 3 for 5 so far this season. First pitch, he's popped that up to first base. And in fact, yes, first baseman's over there, and he will retire the runner. That brings up Henry Burroughs, the left fielder, batting 2 for 5. He's got an RBI so far this season. These E5s are a plague on your save. It's really E6 for me. If I look at, real quick, granted, Sean, I'm managing Rockford. I'm not managing either of these teams. But if I look at the first game I played when I was away, Joe Start, my first baseman, made 5 errors. My second baseman made 1. My shortstop made 1. My catcher made 1. Warren White made an error. And then I made some trades. I did a lot of trades, actually. And I brought in some new players. And by the time I played again, the lineup was completely different, almost completely different. Not, I shouldn't say almost completely different. I had a few players that were the same. Where are we here? Second game. That's Cleveland and Troy. When was the second game? Here we go. Second game, Cleveland versus Rockford, right? I won 24-2 over Cleveland. In that game, I had 1 error in that game, and it was on George Wright, the shortstop. It was an E6. Then I played Boston. Lip Pike, the right fielder, had an error. George Wright, the shortstop, had 3 errors. And Dick McBride, my pitcher, had an error. So now my pitcher's up to, or my shortstop's up to 4 errors. Then I played them again today. And Cap Anson, my third baseman, had 2 errors. George Bird, my center fielder, had an error. And then I just played them against Philadelphia. Cap Anson, my third baseman, had 2 errors. Ross Barnes, my second baseman, had an error. Lip Pike, my right fielder, had an error. So yeah, E5s are destroying my save. You're right. They're destroying my team. I take it back. But I can't. I don't know what to do, man. They all have high potential. Most of them have high potential. I think I've got 2 5-star, 2 4-star, 1 3.5-star potential. So it's like maybe we just eat this season as a loss at this rate. Here's the throw over to first, and that's not the runner's back in time. Henry Burroughs, left fielder, is up. Throw over to first, and the runner is back safely. First pitch, and that is inside for a ball. Over to second goes the throw, but over there in time is Steve Bellin. He's got himself a stolen base. So Bellin, Tom Amansky is waiting on your telegram. Thanks. Let me type it out to him right now. Hold on. That's what I feel like I have to do. Right, here's the pitch, the 1-0 pitch. Swung on, that's popped up. Right at the pitcher's mound. Shortstop's in for it. And he will make the play, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits. They leave 1 left. We go to the top of the second. It is scoreless. Charlie Gold due up first for the Washington Olympics. We are going to take a 60-second break. We'll be back with the second inning in just a moment. Right, welcome back. Second inning here in New York. Scoreless affair. Charlie Gold up to the mound to start this second inning for the Washington Olympics. He is currently 1 for 9 so far this season with an RBI. First pitch incoming to Gold, and that's taken down low for a ball, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch is swung on. That's lined deep in the left field. Is the left fielder going to get over there? Yes, he will, and that's going to be the first out of the inning. That is Henry Burroughs with the putout, and one retired here in the second. That's going to bring up John Radcliffe, the third baseman, batting 3 out of 9 so far this season, 2 RBIs. Here's the first pitch to Radcliffe. Oh, that's like, all right, I got to bounce. Work calls. I also need a little something on my stomach. Thank you for the raid. I appreciate you, Sean. I hope the end of your stream was well, man. I'm sorry I forgot to ask about it sooner, but don't get caught up hanging here telling me about it, man. You got to go. You got to go. Thank you again. Sorry for being AFK, man. You caught me during lunch break, but yeah, man, have a good one. And good luck at work tonight. Radcliffe flies out to the center fielder, and that'll be the second out of the inning. That brings up catcher Charlie Mills, batting 1 for 8 so far this season. Here's the first pitch to Mills, and that's swung on and missed. That's 0-1. Oh, 1 pitch, and that's fouled away. It'll be 0-2. The 0-2 pitch, taken outside, ball 1. It counts now 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Grounded over towards the second baseman. On to first in time, and that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the top. We go to the bottom of the second. There is still no score. Due up first for the New York Mutuals will be pitcher Riney Walters. Traded 2 for Sean Sullivan's. Both might seem time in my rotation soon. One is a lefty, slotted at number 5 starter. Ooh, okay. Nice. Walters is 2 for 5 so far this season. Here is the first pitch to the pitcher. That's swung on, grounded up towards the hole. That's through. It's a base hit. And Walters gets aboard with a leadoff single here in the bottom of the second. That's going to bring up Art Allison, the center fielder, who's 0 for 4 so far this season. First pitch is taken away for a ball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0. That's swung on, grounded foul. 1-1. That's swung on. That's hit deep to right. Is it going to stay fair? It just drifted foul. So for those keeping track, I have 2 Sean Sullivans in my system and 3 players named Jesus Rodriguez. Jesus Christ. It's going to be like that Israeli team in Football Manager that I was commentating on, or that we did the watch-along party for the Euros, where like 5 of them had the surname Levy and the other one had the surname Levi, and I was like, really? Half the team is named Levy? Like, they made the round of 16 though, so I guess fair play to them, you know. 1-2 to pitch. Swung on, that's grounded foul. And still 1-2 here. Here's the pitch. That is lined into left field, base hit. And Art Allison will make it back-to-back base hits. He's aboard. Walters goes to second, and now it's 2 base runners with nobody out here. That's going to bring up Charlie Pabor. The right fielder, batting 1 for 4 so far this season. Here's the first pitch to him. That is lined deep in the left field. That's going to split the gap. A base hit. Runs are going to score off this as well. Pabor's going to go maybe for 3, and he is going to land there. He's safe in third. It's a 2 RBI triple for Charlie Pabor. And he's got the New York Mutuals into the lead early here in the second. The worst I saw was a high school in my area where 3 of the 5 stars on the basketball team had the surname Donaldson, with the 6th man also rocking that last name. Wow. That's nuts. I think the first MLS game on today is on at 3. It is. It's New York City, Chicago. So I got to get ready to get that on the board, or on the TV here soon, on the laptop here soon. 2 RBI triple for Charlie Pabor, and New York Mutuals have a 2-0 lead. That brings up George Ewell, the first baseman. Class 1A basketball in Somerset County. Catch the fever. Wow. That's like out of here. A lot of people out here share the same last name. A lot of, oh my God. I know Kreider's a very popular last name out here. There's another one. There's a whole supermarket named after them. Stoltzfoots is another one. It's going to bug the shit out of me. All right, I got it, Chad. Have a good one. You too, man. Take care. Thank you for coming along and the raid. Let me give you a shout out while you're gone. Guys, go follow Sean if you like baseball. He's hooked on OOTP like I am. Also plays Football Manager, is a Bristol City supporter. Great guy. Give him some love. Yeah. Really big Pittsburgh sports fan as well. Here is the first pitch to Donnelly, and that's taken for a ball. Oh, I'm sorry, Ewell, and it's taken for a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0. That's grounded foul. It'll be 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. That's taken inside. Ball 2. 2-1. Here's a 2-1 pitch inside. Ball 3. And it's a hitter's count now, 3-1 with a runner on third. And he takes ball 4. And George Ewell will take first. That'll bring up shortstop Pete Donnelly. He is batting 0 for 3 so far this season. Here's the first pitch. That's hit foul. Here's the first, the 0-1. That's lined it up. Oh, it's an error on the second baseman. And Donnelly is aboard. Ewell will go to second. Pabor will score. And the second baseman, Jim Carlton, will grab an error. The second error for Washington. And the New York Mutuals have a 3-0 lead. That'll bring up Mike McGray. He grounded out his first at bat. His first pitch. That's lined into center field. Is it going to drop? It's over the center fielder's head. It's a base hit. Mike McGeary scores a double. Ewell will score on the play. Going to third is Pete Donnelly. It's an RBI double. And it is 4-0 New York. That brings up Steve Bellin, who reached via an error his last time up. Also stole a base. First pitch, that's rocketed into the gap between first and second. That's a base hit. Donnelly scores. McGeary goes to third. And Steve Bellin's aboard with an RBI single. Still nobody out. Here's Cal McVeigh. He popped up to the first baseman his last time up. He will take called strike. 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That is down low below the knees. 1-1. Throw over to first. And the runner's back in time. Throw over to first. And the runner is back safely. Here's the pitch. That's taken high for a ball. 2-1. Here's the 2-1. That's grounded over towards the shortstop. Over to first. And he's safe. It's an infield single. Scoring is McGeary. Over to second goes Bellin. And it's 6-0 for New York. That brings up Henry Burroughs, the left fielder. He popped up to the shortstop. Hi, Viva. I'm going to start calling you 19 every time you do that. Hi, 19. No, you didn't win the Prem. You just lifted the trophy today. You didn't win it today. You just lifted the trophy today. Here's Henry Burroughs. That's flied out into right field. And to make the play is actually the second baseman. That's the first out of the inning. That brings Riney Walters back up to the plate. He singled to start the inning. But yes, Viva, congratulations. I hope you enjoyed the trophy lift. First pitch is high for a ball. Every time I usually watch it, and it fills me with hope that maybe one year we'll do it. And I think that hope is well and truly gone now. I think it's dissipated. I genuinely do not believe I will watch West Ham win the Premier League in my lifetime. I just don't think it'll ever happen. So, only cried a little bit. Nice. Here's the 1-0. That's taken for a ball. And it's 2-0. Here's a 2-0 pitch. That's fouled away. 2-1. The 2-1. It's taken inside for a ball, and it's 3-1. Did you ever think you'd see them win a European trophy? No, to be honest with you. No. I thought the best thing we would ever maybe possibly do is win the FA Cup. I think that to win a European, and the thing that agitated me the most is all the crap that a lot of fans talked about when we did win it, saying, "Oh, well, you were expected to win it, and it's a Bobo Trophy and all this stuff." I mean, it gets you into Europa League, you know. And then Spurs have turned around and won the Europa League, and they're like, "How big is it for Spurs? It's amazing, isn't it?" Oh, it's like, why the double standard, you know? Here's the 3-1 pitch. That's grounded over towards the second baseman. No play. He has no play. Riney Walters is aboard with his infield hit. Going to third is going to be Steve Bellin. Going to second will be Cal McVeigh. And the inning continues. It'll bring up Art Allison back to the plate. He singled his last at bat. First pitch. And grounded over to the shortstop. Oh, it's an error. It's an error on the drop throw. It's going to be accredited to the shortstop. And just like that, scoring will be Steve Bellin. Cal McVeigh will go to third. Ronnie Walters will go to second. And it's 7-0 New York. If you told me a year ago when Klopp left that we'd win the Prem this year, I would have called you even crazier. Yeah, that I believe. I believe you when you say that, Viva. Here's Charlie Pabor. He had a 2 RBI triple his last at bat. Here's the first pitch. That's in there for a called strike. It's 0-1. Oh, 1 pitch grounded over towards third base. Base hit yet again. That one goes all the way off against the wall, and it's back to back. 2 RBI. It's a 3 RBI triple this time. He's cleared the bases. Scoring from third is McVeigh. Scoring from second is Ronnie Walters. Scoring from first is Art Allison. And it's 10-0 New York. That brings up George Ewell. He walked on a base on balls his first at bat. First pitch grounded back behind home plate, foul. Here's the 0-1. That's taken for a ball, 1-1. Here's the 1-1 outside, ball 2, and it's 2-1. 2-1 pitch grounded back up towards the mound. On to first. It's an error on the pitcher now. The run can't score from third, but they had an opportunity to get the out, and they didn't do that. And now the pitcher with an error. That's Al Pratt. I forgot to record the shortstop's error as well. Here's the pitch. That's in there for a called strike. It's 0-1. This is Pete Donnelly at the plate now, who reached an error in his last at bat. Here's the pitch. Grounded over towards the shortstop. That's going to be an error. That's an error on the shortstop. Throwing error on the shortstop. And Pete Donnelly's reached on 2 straight errors. Scoring on the play will be Charlie Pabor. And George Ewell goes to second. And it's 11-0 for New York. This has been the craziest game I've ever seen. They've pulled the pitcher here, and it's only the second inning. It's not even his fault to me. It's all the damn errors. That was an error on the shortstop. That's John Bass's second. They've got 5 errors, and we've only played 2 innings here. Dave Force will come in. He's the new pitcher. Which means I can actually remove Pratt's name out of the 9 spot because he didn't even get a single at bat. And I'm going to put in Davey Force. Runners on first and second, still only 1 out. That brings up Mike McGeary to the plate. He had an RBI double his last at bat. Here's the first pitch to him. Swung on and missed. That's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That's taken inside for a ball. 1-1. The 1-1. That's grounded foul. It'll be 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. Outside, ball 2. 2-2. Here's the pitch. That's inside, ball 3. And now the count is full at 3-2. Here's the pitch. He's lined that deep into right center field. Going back, there's the center fielder. And that one is just off the base of the warning track and the base of the wall. A triple for Mike McGeary. A 2 RBI triple. Scoring on the play is George Ewell. Scoring on the play is Pete Donnelly. And the inning still continues. 13 runs in the inning now for New York. Steve Bell in the battery. RBI singled last at bat. And this one's at least grounded over towards the first baseman, and that will retire a second out of the inning. The runner does come home to score. That's Mike McGeary. But there's at least 2 outs now in this second inning. Cal McVeigh is the next batter. He had an RBI single himself. Here's the first pitch. That's grounded right in front of home plate. Catcher gets it over to first, and that is going to retire the side. 14 runs on 9 hits, and they leave 1 aboard. We go to the top of the third, 14-0 for New York. Elmer White will be due up first, but we're going to take a quick 60-second break, I should say. We'll be back in just a minute with the third inning. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Right, welcome back. Third inning here in New York. Home team leading 14-0. You were right, by the way, Viva. If you had said beginning of the season that you would have won, I would have thought this was going to be like Liverpool slipping to like third, fourth. And City regaining dominance again. But fair play. They look good. I think they're set up well for the future too. Right fielder Elmer White is the first batter. Here's the first pitch to him. That is lined into right field. And that will be the first out of the inning. Charlie Pabor on the putout, and that brings up Dave Force, the pitcher. Davey Force, the pitcher. Here's the first pitch to Davey Force. Grounded over to the third baseman. On to first, in time for out number 2. Tom Foley will be the next batter up. He grounded out to the first baseman his first time up. First pitch to him. Taken inside for a ball, and it's 1-0. Here's the 1-0. Called strike, and it's 1-1. The 1-1 pitch incoming. Swung on and missed, and it's 1-2. 1-2 pitch. Grounded it back towards the mound. Over to first in time, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the third. It is 14-0 New York. Due up first for the New York Mutuals will be catcher Cal McVeigh. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Left fielder Henry Burroughs. He's 0 for 2 with 2 pop-ups. First pitch to Burroughs. He's popped this up in foul territory, and the third baseman's right over there to take it. First out of the inning. Ronnie Walters will be the next one up. Walters is 2 for 2 so far today. Here's the first pitch to him. That's lined into left field. Is that going to stay fair? That just drifts foul. Here's the 0-1. That's grounded over to the third baseman. On to first. That's a bad error. And going to second will be Walters. It is an error. It is an E5, an error on the third baseman. And that is Radcliffe's second error of the game. And Ronnie Walters reaches on an E5 and goes to second base. That'll bring up center fielder Art Allison. Art last inning had a single and also reached via an error. Here's the first pitch. It's in there for a called strike. It's 0-1. 0-1 is lined into the gap. And the shortstop gets there, throws to first, and that'll be the second out of the inning. Runner cannot move because of it. And that'll bring up Charlie Pabor, who hit 2 triples for 5 RBIs in the previous inning. First pitch to Pabor. That's taken low and in for a ball. 1-0. 1-0 pitch. Swung on, grounded over to the first baseman, and he will take it himself and retire the side. No runs, no hits. They leave one. We go to the top of the 4th. 14-0 New York. Due up first for the Washington Olympics, second baseman Jim Carlton. He hit a double his last at bat. Oh, they kicked off. Okay, New York they've kicked off. Awesome, thank you. There we go. Watch live. Watch live. Thank you. It'll probably cut out, and then I'll have to select it again because Apple's website is a mess. Right. First pitch to Carlton is taken below the knees for a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0. Swung on. That's grounded foul back into the screens. The 1-1 pitch. Grounded over to the first baseman. On to first in time, and that is out number 1. 3-1 on the put. Pitcher comes over to assist. Yep, there it goes. A cutout. Because why would it work efficiently? That brings up Ned Cuthbert. He popped up to the first baseman his first at bat. That one's fouled off. It's 0-1. 0-1 pitch. It's fouled off again. It's 0-2. 0-2 pitch now. Lined into center field. Coming forward is the center fielder, Art Allison. He makes the play. 2 down now. John Bass will be the next batter. He flying out left field his first at bat. Here's the first pitch. In there for a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That's grounded foul. It'll be 0-2 now to John Bass. 0-2 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? Third base umpire says no, and it's taken for a ball. 1-2. Here's the 1-2. That's grounded foul. Bass stays alive for now. Here's the 1-2 again. That's lined into center field. And that will be retired by Art Allison. So no runs, no hits, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the 4th, 14-0 New York. George Hewell will be the first player up. He walked and reached via an error in the second inning. Here's the first pitch to George Hewell. That's lined deep into left field. Going back, there's the left fielder, and that'll be the first out of the inning. Ned Cuthbert getting credit for the put. That brings up Pete Donnelly, the shortstop. He reached twice via an error in his previous at-bat. That's first strike taken. Here's the 0-1. That's lined into the gap. It's a base hit. Pete Donnelly's aboard here with one out. That'll bring up Mike McGeary. He has a double and a triple with 2 RBIs. And that is called strike. 0-1. He's 2 for 3 today, by the way. Here's the 0-1. That's outside. Ball 1. 1-1. 1-1 pitch. Inside. Ball 2. And it is 2-1. Here's the pitch. Grounded over to the third baseman. On to second for 1, and that'll be it. It's a fielder's choice. And so McGeary gets the board on the fielder's choice. That brings up Steve Bellin, who had an RBI single and an RBI ground out in the second inning. Also reached on a stolen base and reached on an error and has a stolen base. First pitch is a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0. That's inside. Ball 2, and it's 2-0. 2-0 pitch. Grounded over towards the mound. And it's a fielding error by the second baseman. So McGeary goes to second. Bellin gets aboard. And the second baseman, Jim Carlton, has got his second error of the afternoon. That brings up Cal McVeigh, who has an RBI single and a ground out and a pop out. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Called. Strike 2, and it's 0-2. Here's the 0-2. That's down low below the knees for a ball. 1-2. Here's the 1-2. Below the knees again. Ball 2. The 2-2 pitch. Inside. Ball 3. And now it is 3-2. Full count here. He's managed to foul that one off. Here's the pitch. That one's over to first, and that'll retire the side. No runs, no hits, and I'm reading in the wrong thing here. No runs, no hits. I'm sorry, no runs on 1 hit, and they leave 2 aboard. We go to the 4th inning. It is 14-0 New York. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break. We'll be right back after this. Right, we're back. Fifth inning here in New York. And due up first is first baseman Charlie Gold. He is currently 0 for 1. He flied out his first at bat. Here's the first pitch to him. That is away for a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0. That's high. Ball 2. And it is 2-0. Here's the pitch. Called strike, and it's 2-1. Two-one pitch. Swung on and missed. And it is 2-2. Here's the 2-2. That's lined into left field, but foul. Here's the 2-2 again. High, ball 3. And it's 3-2. 3-2 the pitch. Here it is. He's popped it up in the infield. First baseman's over here, and he will grab it, and that is going to be the first out of the inning. First baseman George Ewell with the put. That retires Charlie Gold. Brings up John Radcliffe, the third baseman. He is 0 for 1 so far. First pitch to Radcliffe. That is lined into left field. Coming forward is Henry Burroughs, and he will glove it for the second out of the inning. Charlie Mills, the catcher, is next. He grounded out his first at bat. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That's grounded foul. Here it is, the 0-2 pitch. Taken inside for a ball, and it's 1-2. Here's the pitch. Swung on, grounded foul. 1-2 again. Taken low for a ball. 2-2 now. Here's the 2-2. That is popped up into left field. Drifting foul, and it will land foul. The 2-2 again. Taken low for a ball. 3-2. It's the 8th pitch of this at bat. Here it is. He's popped it up. Third baseman's over there to get it. That's Steve Bellin, and he will glove it, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It is 14-0 New York. Due up first for the New York Mutuals is left fielder Henry Burroughs. Burroughs is 0 for 3 with 3 pop-ups. Or pop-outs so far. Here's the first pitch. That's in the zone for a strike. 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That's grounded foul. 0-2 now for Burroughs. Here's the pitch. Taken high for a ball. 1-2. 1-2 pitch. High for a ball, and it's 2-2. Here's the pitch. Grounded over towards the first baseman. And the pitcher comes over to cover, and that will retire Burroughs. That brings up Ronnie Walters. He is 2 for 3 so far today with 2 singles. Here's the first pitch to Walters. That's taken away for a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0. On the outside corner, strike 1. Well, here's the 1-0. That's lined right at the second baseman. And that will be out number 2. Welcome in. Thank you for the follow, Smiley Face Jane. Welcome in. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. We play a little bit of everything on here. Football Manager, Out of the Park, Hearts of Iron, Action Time Imminent, Rise of Nations, Pong Ya. We play it all. Chicago maybe should have done better with that chance. Okay. I got the MLS game on the side. Art Allison is the next batter up, the center fielder. The center fielder is currently 1 for 3 in this game. You're watching a game in 1871. Washington Olympics at New York Mutuals. Washington 1-1, New York 0-1. It's the 1871 season. The team I am managing in this save is Rockford Forest Cities. We're 1-4. We've not had a great start. Here's the first pitch to Art Allison. Swung on, grounded over to second base. That's through. It squeaks through. It's a base hit for Art Allison. That'll bring up Charlie Pabor. He is 2 for 3 with 2 triples in this game and 5 RBIs. Here's the first pitch. That's grounded foul. Here's the 0-1. Taken outside. Ball 1. And it's 1-1. Here's the 1-1. That's grounded foul. It'll be 1-2 now. 1-2 pitch. Grounded right back up the middle. And that gets through for a base hit. Another single. Pabor has got a single, 2 triples. Error in the outfield on R8. That's going to allow Allison to go to third. Pabor's going to get to second. And 8 is the center fielder. That's Tom Foley. He's got an error now for Washington. It's Washington's 8th error of the game. And now George Ewell, the first baseman, who's 0 for 2, is going to step in here with runners in scoring position. 2 outs. Here's the first pitch. He's going to line that right over towards the first baseman. He will take it himself, and that will retire the side. No runs on 2 hits. They leave 2 left. We go to the top of the 6th. 14-0 New York. 2 up first for the Washington Olympics will be right fielder Elmer White. He flied out to right field his first at bat. We are going to take a 60-second break. We'll be back with the 6th inning in just a minute. Welcome back. 6th inning here in New York. Mutuals leading it by a score of 14-0. Chicago just scored a goal, by the way, and first off, it was a good strike. About 20 yards. 22 yards. 22 yards. But what I will say is the last name of the goal scorer is like the most, I don't know what it is. Was it Zinkernagel? Zinkernagel. Wow, what a last name. Right, here's Elmer White. First pitch to him, and that's a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That's below the knees for a ball. 1-1. 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. 1-2 here. 1-2 pitch. Grounded foul. And staying alive is White. Here's the pitch. That is outside, ball 2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And that is, strike 3. He struck him out looking. Backwards K action there. Yeah, that looks like a foul. Right, that would bring up Davey Force, the pitcher. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out so far. Here's the first pitch to him. That's below for a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0. Grounded over towards the second baseman. On to first, and that's in time for out number 2. Tom Foley will be the next batter. 0 for 2 with 2 groundouts. Here comes the first pitch to Foley. Swung on and missed. It'll be 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's high for a ball, and it is 1-1. 1-1 pitch now. And he whiffed at it. It's 1-2. One-two pitch. That's lined right into center field. And coming over there will be Art Allison. He makes the play, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It's still 14-0 New York. Pete Donnelly will be the first man up for the New York Mutuals. He is 0 for 2 with, he's 1 for 3 with a single. Here's the first pitch. That's lined into left field. Is that going to stay fair? It just drifts foul. Here's the pitch. That's lined in the gap, base hit. And Pete Donnelly's aboard with a leadoff single here in the 6th. That'll bring up Mike McGeary. He is 2 for 3. He's 2 for 4 with a double, a triple, and 3 RBIs. Here's the first pitch. That's taken high for a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0. Swung on and missed. 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Popped up in the infield. And the shortstop's over to make the play. And that will retire McGeary. That'll bring up Steve Bellin. He is 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. First pitch. And that's taken for a strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Grounded or lined right at the first baseman. And that will be out number 2. Cal McVeigh will be the next batter. A 1 for 4 with an RBI. Here's the first pitch. Inside, ball 1. Here's the next pitch. That's outside, 2-0. 2-0 pitch is lined into left field. That's a base hit. Going to second will be Donnelly. And McVeigh has a single. That's going to bring up Henry Burroughs, who's 0 for 4 so far today. Here's the first pitch. That's taken inside for a ball. 1-0. 1-0 pitch, high, ball 2, and it's 2-0. Here's the 2-0. That is grounded foul. 2-1 pitch, swung on and missed, and it's 2-2. 2-2 pitch. Grounded right at the second baseman, who's flubbed it. He's made an error. Over to third goes Donnelly. Second, McVeigh. Burrows is aboard. And the second baseman, Jim Carlton, has made his third error of the game. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Here's Ronnie Walters. And he takes ball 1 inside. 1-0 pitch taken down low when it's 2-0. Here's the 2-0. Called strike, 2-1. 2-1 pitch is taken inside, ball 3. Full count. Here's the pitch. That's inside. He's walked him. It's a bases loaded walk. Walters gets credit for the RBI. Coming in to score will be Donnelly. Going to third is McVeigh. Going to second is Burrows. And that will bring up Art Allison, the center fielder. We're going to get a pitching change in the meantime. And it'll be Bob Armstrong who will take the mound. They've got the position players pitching because they just don't have enough juice right now. Here's the first pitch to Art Allison from Bob Armstrong. Taken for a ball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0. Swung on. That's lined into right field. And that is a foul ball. Here's the 1-1. It's a passed ball. It's a ball. It's a pass ball. Coming in to score is Cal McVeigh. He's safe. Going to second is Ronnie Walters. Henry Burrows will land at third. And New York scratch another run across. Here's the 2-1 now. That's grounded foul, 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. It's a wild pitch. Safe at the plate is Henry Burrows. Going to third is Ronnie Walters. And another run scores for New York. 3-2 pitch, and he's walked him. He's walked him. Art Allison goes to first. That'll bring up Charlie Pabor, who has a single and 2 triples. Here's the first pitch to Pabor. And that's taken for a ball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0. In there for a strike, and it's 1-1. 1-1 pitch. Grounded foul. It'll be 1-2. 1-2 pitch. Grounded foul. Still 1-2 now. 1-2. That's lined into center field, base hit. And coming in to score is going to be Walters. Art Allison will go to second. It's an RBI single. Oh, no, it's an error as well in the outfielder again. Tom Foley with his second error of the game, and that's going to allow Allison to take up third. Pabor will go to second, and now it's second and third with 2 outs. That brings up George Ewell. Here's the first pitch to him, and he takes it for a ball, 1-0. Ewell is 0 for 3 so far today. Here's the pitch. That's called strike, 1-1. George Ewell outside, 2-1. 2-1 pitch. That's lined into right field. Base hit. Scoring on the play will be Art Allison. Going to third is going to be Charlie Pabor. And it's an RBI single for George Ewell. That's going to bring up Pete Donnelly again. We batted around the order again here, this time in the 6th. Here's Donnelly. He takes ball 1. Here's the 1-0. Swung on and missed. 1-1. The 1-1 taken inside. 2-1. 2-1 pitch. That's popped up. And third baseman comes over, and that finally will retire the side. So 4 runs. No, they had 5. 5 runs on 4 hits, and they leave 2 aboard. We go to the top of the 7th. It is currently 19-0 for New York. Due up first in the top of the 7th, Jim Carlton. We're going to take a 60-second break. We will be back with more in just a moment. I hate NYCFC as much as the next man, but I don't know why Gutierrez is arguing against. It's a clear red card, mate. He's tried to go in for a tackle, right? And he's pulled out of the tackle with his boot, but he's jumped to try and minimize the contact that he's going to have with the New York NYCFC player. And as he's trying to jump past him, he literally goes like that with his elbow and just whacks him in the face. Like, you've just swung an elbow, mate. you're going that how did you expect that not to be a red card? You've swung an elbow and you hit his face. Like, all day, that's a red card. Anyway, we're back with the 7th inning here in New York. Jim Carlton is coming up to bat. He is 1 for 2 with a double. First pitch. And that's taken outside for a ball. 1-0. The 1-0 pitch is taken for a strike. It's 1-1. 1-1 pitch. Lined into center field. That's a base hit. And Jim Carlton is aboard with a base hit here to start the 7th inning. That's going to bring up Ned Cuthbert. He's 0 for 2. That is only the 2nd hit for Washington in this game. Cuthbert swings at the first pitch. He's popped it up in the infield. And the second baseman is over there. That's Mike McGeary, and he will get credit for the putout. And that is the first out of the inning. That brings up shortstop John Bass. He's 0 for 2 so far today. And that's called strike. It's 0-1. 0-1 is check swing, but he didn't go, and it's 1-1. Here's the 1-1. Called strike 2. And it's 0-2. Or 1-2, sorry. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's taken inside, 2-2. 2-2 pitch. Grounded foul. Here's the 2-2. Grounded foul. 2-2 again. Popped up. In the infield once more. Third baseman's over to grab it, and he will do so. That is Steve Bellin with the putout, and that's the second out of the inning. That'll bring up Charlie Gold. He's 0 for 2. First pitch is a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0. That's lined into right center field. Center fielder, it's going to drop in. That's a base hit. And that could be a triple. Oh, it's an inside the Parker. Is he going to go? He's safe at home. It's an inside the Parker for Charlie the Gold. And it's a 2-run home run. Charlie Parker gets credit for an inside the Parker. And just like that, it's 19-2. It'll bring up John Radcliffe, the third baseman. Here's the first pitch to him. That is low for a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0. Called strike. It's 1-1. 1-1 pitch. At the knees, below the knees, 2-1. Here's the 2-1. Called strike 2, and it's 2-2 now. Here's the 2-2. That is grounded over towards the first baseman. He's made an error. And that'll be the first error for New York. It's on George Ewell. And John Radcliffe is aboard. Coming up now is Charlie Mills, the catcher. Here's the first pitch. He'll take that for a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0. That's low. Ball 2. 2-0 grounded over towards the shortstop. On to second for the force. And that will retire the side. 2 runs on 2 hits. And they leave 1 aboard. We go to the 7th inning stretch here in New York. 19-2. It's time for the 7th inning stretch. And a age-old classic, Take Me Out to the Ball Game. The whole time it was muted like an idiot. My bad. My bad. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to play some ball. Here we go. It is the bottom of the 7th inning now here in New York, 19-2. And due up first is going to be Mike McGeary. He is actually going to be subbed out. So, in the 7th inning. So it will be now Mike Brannock who's going to come in. For Mike McGeary. And we are about ready to get underway. Bob Armstrong still on the mound. Here we go with the first pitch. That's taken for a ball. And the 0-2 pitch is, or the 1-0 pitch is also taken for a ball. So it is 2-0. Here's the first pitch. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That's outside. Ball 3. 3-0. The pitch. That's ball 4. He's walked him on 4 straight pitches. That's going to bring up Steve Bellin, the third baseman. He is currently sitting at 1 for 5. First pitch to him. And that's a wild pitch. It goes all the way to the backstop. Brannock's going to go to second. And now it is 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's inside, 2-0. Here's the 2-0 pitch now. And that's a wild pitch again. Brannock goes to third. 3-0 the count as well. 3-0 pitch is in there for a called strike. It's 3-1. Here's the 3-1. Ball 4. Back-to-back walks here in the 7th inning. Cal McVeigh will be the next batter up. He's batting 2 for 5 so far today. Here's the first pitch to Cal McVeigh. Outside for a ball. 1-0. And that's a called strike. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch is swung on. That's grounded foul. Here's the 1-2. And strike 3. He rung him up looking. That'll be the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Henry Burroughs. He is currently 0 for 5 so far today. And here's the first pitch. Popped up behind home plate, and the catcher has that. That is Charlie Mills with the putout. And it's the second out of the inning. That brings up Riney Walters, the pitcher. He is currently 2 for 4 with an RBI. First pitch taken inside for a ball, 1-0. 1-0 pitch is away for a ball, 2-0. Here's the 2-0 pitch. High, ball 3. 3-0. 3-0 pitch. Called strike. It's 3-1. What's up, Ziggurath? Let me give you a shout out. If you're not already, guys, follow the great Ziggurath. Euro Truck also plays Football Manager. Apparently played Warzone back in the day. There you go. Well, welcome in, brother. I hope you're well. We're cleaning up this game here, and then we're going to be out of here. It is bottom of the 7th. 2 outs. 2 on. And here's the 3-1 pitch to Ronnie Walters. And he's walked him. He's walked him. Ronnie's gotten a walk. Going to second will be Steve Bellin, and that is going to load the bases here with 2 outs. Yeah, I like that it pulls random clips. It's a nice little feature. What happened in the bottom of the second? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right, bottom of the second, okay. Ronnie Walters singles. Art Allison singles. Charlie Perver hits a 2-run triple. George Ewell walks. Pete Donnelly reaches on an error, right? In that time, okay, they threw 2 wild pitches that scored Charlie Pabor and George Ewell, right? So that's 4 runs now. Donnelly's on third. McGeary hits a double. That brings Donnelly home. Now McGeary's on second. Bellin, they throw a wild pitch. McGeary goes to third. Bellin hits a single. That brings McGeary home. McVeigh then grounds out, I believe. No, sorry. McVeigh hits a single. They had thrown, I think, a wild pitch in that instance, and that brought Bellin home. Burrows popped up, so that was the first out. Ronnie Walters hit a single. That got McVeigh over to third. I'm sorry. Yeah, that got McVeigh over to third. Art Allison reached via an error. Or, I'm sorry, after Burrows popped up, it was Ronnie Walters. He singled. That got McVeigh to third. And then Art Allison reached via an error. Perver came up, hit another triple with the bases loaded. It cleared the bases. Ewell reached via an error. Donnelly reached via an error. McGeary then hit a 2-run RBI triple. Steve Bellin grounded out for an RBI. And then Cal McVeigh came up and grounded out. So that's what happened in the second. 14 runs were scored on 9 hits. So I've got the crazy. It is crazy inning. I've got New York City hosting Chicago on right now. Chicago is up 1-0. They scored, and then they took a red card, and the guy tried to argue it, and what had happened is he went in for a tackle, right? And he's this player. He goes in, he lets go of the tackle, right? So he sticks his foot out, and then he pulls it back because he realizes he isn't going to win it, and he jumps to try and avoid the contact, and he tries to jump across the player, and as he jumps across the player, he literally looks back and goes like that with his elbow, and he just catches the guy clean in the face, and the ref just comes right over and goes straight red off the pitch. And Gutierrez stood there for like 90 seconds going, isn't VAR going to look at it? And he's like, go. The ref's finally like, you need to leave the pitch. So I'm like, how you argue that VAR is not going to look at, like, of course VAR is going to, you've looked at the player as you're jumping across him and straight raised the elbow. Like his arm was down by the side. Like his arm was here. So to actually put the elbow above his head at one point, like, of course that's going to get called. Every time that's going to get called. Right, this is Art Allison. We're bottom of the 7th. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. That's called strike, 0-1. 0-1 is a called strike. It's 0-2. There's the 0-2. That's grounded over towards the short to the second baseman. He will take it to the bag himself, and that will finally retire the side. No runs on no hits, but they leave the bases loaded. We go to the top of the 8th. It is 19-2 for New York. We're going to take a quick 30-second break. We'll be back with the, 60-second break. We'll be back with the 8th inning in just a minute. Don't go anywhere. Right, welcome back. You got any thoughts on the player Leonard Maloney, U.S. men's national team? I don't even know who that is. Hold on. I don't know. I don't know who he is, unfortunately. I know absolutely nothing about him. Apparently, he's at Mainz, which would probably explain why I know nothing about him because I don't even follow the Bundesliga. So, top of the 8th, Elmer White due up first. I just know that Bayern Munich won. That's all I know about the Bundesliga. And the DFB Pokal. Did they play the DFB Pokal final, by the way? They did. Stuttgart beat Arminia 4-2. Okay. Here's the first pitch to Elmer White, and that's taken for a ball. Oh, batting is Duffy. Duffy's batting now. Ed Duffy, sorry. First at bat for Ed Duffy then. Duffy is 8 for 2 so far this season. The 0-1 pitch is a ball. It's 2-0. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Called strike. It's 2-1. The 2-1 pitch is inside ball 3, and it's a hitter's count 3-1. Here's the pitch. That's taken for a ball, and it is a base on balls for Ed Duffy. Washington gets a runner here to start the 8th inning. Here's the first pitch to Bob Armstrong. That's grounded over towards the second baseman. On to the shortstop for 1 and on to first for the second. And Barb Armstrong grounds into a 4-6-3 double play. That's going to bring up Tom Foley, the center fielder. He is batting 0 for 3 so far today. First pitch to Foley is going to be taken for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. Ball 1 on the inside. 1-1 now. Here's the pitch. And that's shot foul. It'll be 1-2. 1-2 pitch. Popped up. Drifting foul. And that's going to land foul. Here is the 1-2 pitch again. That's popped up into center field. And over there will be the center fielder. He makes the play. That is Art Allison to do it, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 19-2 for New York. Charlie Pabor will be the first one up. He is currently 4 for 5 today. 2 singles, 2 triples, and 6 RBIs. Barb Armstrong still on the mound here for Washington. Here's the first pitch. That's a called strike. Oh, or swung on and missed, I should say. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That's below the knees for a ball. 1-1. 1-1 pitch. Grounded over towards the shortstop. On to first in time for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up George Ewell, the first baseman. He is 1 for 4 so far today with an RBI. First pitch from Armstrong. Taken away for a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0. Called strike. It's 1-1. 1-1 pitch. And that's just hit foul behind home plate. It'll be 1-2 now. Here's the pitch to George Ewell. That's grounded over towards the first baseman, and he will take it himself for out number 2. That brings up the shortstop, Pete Donnelly. He is currently 2 for 5 today with 2 singles. Armstrong remains on the mound. Here is the pitch. That's taken low for a ball. 1-0. 1-0 pitch. Grounded over towards the shortstop. That's going to be a fielding error. Oh, it's a bad one, too. It's an error on the second baseman, and it gives Donnelly 2 bases here. That's going to bring up a new pixelated. That's going to bring up a new batter, Harry Berthrong. And he is, let me just write this down. He is in the 8th, coming in for spot 11, or spot 10, which was Mike Brannick, who is only pinch hit. So, right. How you doing, bro? I'm doing okay. I lost both of the games that I managed. I'm getting annoyed at this game. Statistically, I have one of the best teams in the league in this game. Like, if you look at the attributes-wise, I have one of the best teams in the league this season, right? I lost to Boston on a walk-off in the 9th. I lost to Boston on a walk-off in the 10th. I limited Philadelphia to 7 hits and only 1 earned run, but they scored 4 because of the errors that my fielding team committed. We had 7 hits, but we only managed to scratch across 2 runs. So I lost to Philly 4-2. So I'm 1-4. I'm sitting with a stacked team at 1-4. And I'm like, not doing well at all. So the New York Mutuals, who are in my division, they're in the National League, are about to win this game because they're 19-2 up, which is going to put them 1-1, which is going to mean I'm about to slip to the bottom of the National League. I'm about to be a game and a half back in the mutuals. I think the Fort Wayne Kekiungas are 4-2, and that puts me at 2 games back of them. So, like, it's only a 32 game season as well. So it's not like I got a lot of games to, like I got a lot of ground to make up already. We're just watching this one. Here's Harry Berthrog. He is currently 0 for 1 this season. Here's the first pitch to him. That's going to be a ball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's popped up behind home plate. Now there's going to be 1-1 to count. Here's the 1-1 pitch taken for ball 2. It's 2-1. 2-1 pitch. Ball 3. 3-1 now. Here's the 3-1 pitch. That's chopped foul, and the count goes full. 3-2. That is lined into center field, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, nobody left. Or 1 man left, sorry. No runs, no hits. They leave 1 aboard. We go to the top of the 9th. It is 19-2 for New York. I have to go into I got to go into mod mode super quick. Here we go. Because I've had a likely ban evader just pop up. So I'm going to use the batch reporting tool and get rid of them. Yeah. Well, you guys didn't see it because it was under likely ban evader. And for some reason, the batch reporting tool isn't available in the streamer dashboard. So you have to actually go into mod mode to use it for some reason. Anyway, it's all taken care of. Right, top of the 9th, Jim Carlton, will be due up first. He's the second baseman. He's batting 2 for 3 with a single and a double. Here's the first pitch to Jim Carlton, and that is a called strike, 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Grounded over towards the first baseman. He will take it himself. And that is George Ewell on the putout, and that is the first out of the inning. Ned Cuthbert will be up next. The left fielder, he is 0 for 4. Or 0 for 3, sorry. Here's the first pitch. Called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That is taken outside for a ball, 1-1. Here's the 1-1 now. Down low for a ball, 2-1. 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed, 0-2. And now the count's even at 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Popped up in the infield. Shortstop's coming over to grab it. He will do so. Pete Donnelly getting credit for the putout. That brings up the final out. John Bass representing the final out for Washington. Here's the first pitch. That's a ball. 1-0. Bass 0 for 3 so far. 1-0 pitch taken inside for a ball. It's 2-0. Here's the 2-0. Swung on and missed. It's 0-1. 0-1 pitch. That's inside, ball 3. 3-1 the count. Swung on, grounded over to the second baseman, on to first in time, and that will do it. So, Washington come into town. They were 1-1. New York looking to bounce back. They've done exactly that. Absolutely crushing Washington off the back of a monster second inning. 19-2 the final. We're going to go to the box scores now. We're going to go over the pitching. Let's go over Al Pratt first. He'll get credit for the loss. He pitched 1 1/3 innings. I have the pitch count down as 42. He walked one. He did not strike out anybody. He gave up. Uh, oh God, I couldn't tell you how many hits. He's accredited for 8 hits, 13 runs. How many earned? 6. Dave Force pitched 4. He actually didn't do too bad. 4.1 innings. I have his pitch count at 67. They have it at 66. Okay, corrected. 66. Base on balls, 1. He did strike out 1, which is kind of impressive. No, he didn't strike out anybody. Oh, wow. I thought he struck. Oh, Armstrong got the strikeout. Okay. Hits. Well, he had 13. The other guy gave up, 8? So 6 hits for him. Earned runs. Oh, God. He gave up 5 runs, only a single one earned. And then Bob Armstrong came in and pitched 2 1/3 innings. I have his pitch count at 56. He gave up 4 walks. He struck out 1. He gave up 2 hits. And he gave up 1 run, and it was earned. So, here's your final batting stats for the Washington Olympics. Tom Foley, 4 at-bats, no hits, 2 errors. Jim Carlton, 4 at-bats, 2 hits, 1 of which was a double. He scored a run, and he made 3 errors. Ned Cuthbert, 4 at-bats, no hits. John Bass, 4 at-bats, no hits, 2 errors. Charlie Gold, 3 at-bats, 1 hit. It was an inside-the-park home run, that RBI 2, and he gets credit for the run. John Radcliffe, 3 at-bats, no hits. He made 3 errors. He made 2 errors. Charlie Mills, 3 at-bats, no hits. Elmer White, 2 at-bats, no hits. He struck out looking once. Dave Force, 2 at-bats, no hits. Ed Duffy, no at-bats, 1 base on balls. Davey Force, by the way, he made 1 error. Bob Armstrong, 1 at-bat, no hit. Final totals for the Washington Olympics for 8, 12, 16, 19, 22, 25, 27, 29, 30 at-bats, runs 2, hits. I only have 3 hits. Hits 3, 1 double, 1 home run, 1 base on balls, 1 strikeout, 2 RBIs, 2, 5, 7, 9, 10 fielding errors. Let me get my other pen. For the New York Mutuals, Rainey Walters, he pitched all 9 innings. I have his pitch count as 104. He walked 1. He struck out 1. He gave up 3 hits, 2 runs. They were both earned. The final batting statistics for New York. This is going to be oh boy, this is going to be fun. Mike McGeary, 5 at-bats, 2 hits, 3 RBIs, 1 double, 1 triple. He scored 2 runs. Steve Bellin, 5 at-bats, 1 hit. He stole a base. He scored a run. He's got 2 RBIs. And he had a base on balls. Cal McVeigh, 6 at-bats, 2 hits, 2 runs, 1 RBI. He struck out looking once. Henry Burroughs, 6 at-bats, no hits, 1 run. Rainey Walters, 4 at-bats, 2 hits. He scored 2 runs. He has 1 RBI. He base on balls twice. I'm sorry, he has 2 runs. Yeah, 2 runs. I have 1 RBI. Yep. He base on balls twice. Art Allison. 5 at-bats. 2 hits. 3 runs. 1 base on balls. That's all I got. Charlie Pabor. 6 at-bats. 4 hits. 2 triples. 2 runs. 6 RBIs. George Ewell. 5 at-bats. 1 hit. 2 runs. A base on balls. And an RBI. And a fielding error. Pete Donnelly. 6 at-bats. 2 hits. 3 runs. Mike Brannick. 1 at-bat. No hit. 1 base on balls. Sorry, Brannick goes to no at bats. That's right. Brannick goes to no at bats, a base on balls, and Harry Berthrong, because I forgot. I need to move him down 1 box because of the substitute. He had 1 at bat, no hits. So total batting for the New York Mutuals: 10, 16, 22, 26, 31, 37. 42, 48, 49 at-bats for the New York Mutuals. Runs 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I'm missing a run. 1, 2. Oh, it was Ronnie Walters. Ronnie Walters has 3 runs. Not 2 runs. He scored 3 runs. So 19 runs, hits. 16 hits is what I have. Please tell me that's what they have. Yes, they do. Okay, good. Doubles. 1, 2, 3. 3 doubles. 3 triples. Base on balls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 walks. That's a lot of walks. Strikeouts. 1. Stolen base. 1. RBIs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 13. 14 RBIs and 1 fielding error. And there you have it. Ronnie Walters will get the win. Right. That is the end of the game. We're going to move over to the next game. The Troy Haymakers. We got our 6th game of the season is next. Ours. The team I actually manage. The Rockford Forest Cities. Let's see what it does to the standings, though, that game. So, there we are, rock bottom. In the American League, the Philadelphia Athletics are 3-1. The Boston Red Stockings have a half-game lead over them, but they've played 2 games more. The Cleveland Forest Cities are 2-3. They're a game and a half back. Washington Olympics are 1-2. They're a game and a half back. The Fort Wayne Kekiungas lead the National League. 4-2 is their record. The 1-1 New York Mutuals and the 1-1 Chicago White Stockings are both a game back. The 1-3 Troy Haymakers are 2 back. And we are 1-4, 2.5 games back. If I look at the front office and the owner, he's still ecstatic, thankfully. But we're not looking too hot. We're not looking too hot at all. Anyway, that is going to do it for this recording. So if you're on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. The next game will be ours. It is going to be the 1-3 Troy Haymakers versus the 1-4 Rockford Forest Cities. The Battle of Mid. You don't want to miss that. That'll be the next one. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care.